How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the controversy that is currently surrounding Chick-fil-A. You may have seen the headlines all over the internet. Chick-fil-A will no longer fund anti-LGBTQ organizations. That's not exactly right. It might even get into the lane of libel, slander, defamation, or whatever. But before I even get into it, I got to back up a little bit here to explain to you what's going on and to give you some proper context so you won't be lost in the sauce. Let's go all the way back to Chick-fil-A's foundation back in the day. It might have been in the 60s. Truett Cathy, a devout Christian, as is the Cathy family. The Christians, Dan Cathy right now, who's come out and spoken against gay marriage. He is a proponent of traditional marriage, one man, one woman. He donates to Christian organizations, to faith-based organizations, and it's been like that for a very long time. And that has not changed, contrary to popular opinion right now all on the internet. People see some headlines from leftist organizations and they think, oh, well, Chick-fil-A, they're reversing their course because of all the LGBTQ pressure. I've done videos about the LGBTQ people protesting. I think there was one in Toronto where they opened, they land on the ground, getting walked on, not in a harmful way. People just kind of like walking past them like it's like an obstacle on the ground. Their protests have been few. They've not really been effective, but at the same time, maybe they have, and maybe Chick-fil-A is finally giving to the pressure is the general sentiment that I've been getting from reading a lot of the messages on the internet. That's not true. Let's get into the article from ABC. I'm gonna just read a little bit here, not too much. It says that after courting controversy for years, the fast food chain Chick-fil-A will no longer fund two organizations that have historically opposed same-sex marriage. Now, why is that line actually there? It's for sensationalism, and it's also for the left to claim a victory. Not only the LGBTQ organizations, but organizations that are supportive of them. The leftist media, leftist politicians, and other kind of NGO type companies that support the LGBTQ extremist movement, they're saying this is a victory. Now, what organizations did Chick-fil-A stop funding, and why did they stop funding them? There's only two organizations, and that is the Salvation Army and also the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Just two organizations. But I did a story earlier this year about them protesting in Toronto, Ontario, where they had a whole big list of organizations. Let's look at that list and then we'll compare it. You have the Marriage and Family Foundation, which Chick-fil-A gave the most money to at a particular point, with over $1.1 million. The next one would be the one I mentioned, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Then you have National Christian Foundation, New Mexico Christian Foundation, Exodus International, Family Research Council, and Georgia Family Council. Now, those are all of the organizations, groups, companies, or whatever that are Christian, faith-based, those that the left label as anti-LGBTQ. It's funny how, just for a little bit of a break, it's funny how the left will label Christian companies, organizations, groups, or whatever as anti-LGBTQ because of their views on traditional marriage, same-sex marriage, Leviticus, is that and the third. But they won't say the same thing about Islamic groups, considering if you go overseas into some of these theocracies, you can get murdered for being gay and it's not illegal, but I digress. My point is that the left are labeling these groups that are simply family-based, faith-based as anti-LGBTQ. So then when Chick-fil-A maybe just shifts their donating strategy to other groups, which they have done, they're trying to focus on hunger, homelessness, and education, okay? So if they've shifted their donating focus and two groups that could be considered quote unquote anti-LGBTQ from the left are not on there, they say, oh, well, we won because they're not donating to them anymore. But in a statement, a Chick-fil-A rep said, we're not going to take any groups off of the board for consideration, faith-based or non-faith-based. So straight from Chick-fil-A, they've said we're not going to take any group off, faith-based or not. They've not said anything about stopping donations to these groups because they are quote unquote anti-LGBTQ, and Chick-fil-A has never, to my knowledge, labeled any group as anti-LGBTQ, at least not publicly. I've not read that. If you have, let me know in the comments below. I think what's happening here as I close is that the left are trying to smear Chick-fil-A, and they're trying to claim their shift in donating as a victory for them. Like, the reason why they did it is because they're quote unquote anti-LGBTQ, when Chick-fil-A has not said that at all. They've not said they're going to stop donating to faith-based organizations. Quite the contrary, they said they will continue to donate to faith-based organizations or non-faith-based. Nothing will be off the table. Okay, so this whole thing is just a lie from the left, which is part of the reason why I'm here. I'm here to look at the media, sift through it, and point out the lies when I have to, because things like this may make people that are on the right not support Chick-fil-A because they're going back on the thing that they have done. And I got to add one more thing here. I'm glad Chick-fil-A has not kowtowed to the left, because when you do kowtow to the left, what happens is you can't really stop. Okay, you got to sit by what you believe, whatever that is. Somebody could say you're kowtowing. It doesn't matter if you're sticking to what you believe. You understand what I'm saying? Chick-fil-A is staying on course. They're doing what they have always done. They're not changing, and I'm with it. They're still going to say close on Sunday, which is a shame sometimes, because I love Chick-fil-A on Sunday. It's the best time for Chick-fil-A's on the Sunday afternoon. You riding around, nothing to do. Pull up in a Chick-fil-A, have a good sandwich. But hey, that's their Christian faith, and I respect that 1,000%. I don't see that changing anytime soon, regardless of what the left and some of the tricksters on social media that are the left as well want to have you believe. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that Chick-fil-A has stopped donating to the Salvation Army and the Fellowship of Christian Athletes because of the anti-LGBTQ quote unquote stance? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or is it a nothing burger? It's simple as a business reason. They shift their focus. They have not abandoned their Christian values. I've not seen Dan Cathy or anybody come out and say, I apologize for my stance on same-sex marriage. I apologize for being a Christian. I'm not going to donate to any more faith-based organizations. Matter of fact, quite the contrary. I've seen them always defend themselves, keep their boots to the ground, and do what they always do. That's what I've always seen, and that's a big part of the reason why I respect their company. Aside from just the personal views of those that lead it, you also see great leadership in the stores. It's always a smile. Have a blessed day. You know, it's sunshines and rainbows. It could be a hurricane outside. It's always good. Great customer service, great food, great organization, and they will continue to be so. But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.